Hey, what's going on, guys? So continuing on, now we're going to be having a look at titles and graphics. And the way I'm going to go about starting this section is just by quickly running through how to create a basic title graphic and also starting to take a little look and a little overall peep into the templates that Premiere Pro actually provide for you that are amazing. And personally, I love these templates because I can take this template, make it even better, and just use that as almost the base of what I'm doing instead of maybe the more traditional text tool, which a lot of people are using. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So first up, when I actually started introducing you guys to the layout at the very beginning of this course, I directed your information to these guys up here. These are obviously your different sections of the program, and I advised you if you're ever lost to stay in editing or assembly, because these two are your composition sections where you're actually mainly going to be doing the majority of your editing, piecing together, and overall all your little adjustments. But now we're going to be actually taking a look into these guys, and I did tell you guys that all of them serve a very specific purpose. So we're not going to be doing them sequentially. We're actually going to be taking a big jump over here to graphics, clicking on that, and working through. And you see, as soon as I click on graphics, we are greeted with the essential graphics. And Premiere Pro actually do an amazing job of providing sort of every little type of graphic overlay or caption, subtitle, credit, lower third, any of these title or more pre-made graphic stuff, okay? And personally, if I were actually to be going about creating a basic title, what I would simply do is I'd be on editing, of course, because this is where I stay most of the time, and I would just jump over to graphics and drag over this basic title preset template that they offer you, and I would just drag that right in here. And the great thing about dragging this one here is that it's actually going to kind of pop up already with text there, opposed to you actually using the text tool. But the thing is if we actually create this title here, and if we click on it, you see if we're not clicked on it, there's no specifications coming up over here. But as soon as we click on it, we have all of these specifications, and these are the controls essentially of this particular text. These are essentially the same as effect controls, but these are all the little tweaks. And in fact, if you go over to effect controls, when you're highlighted on a graphic, you actually have very similar stuff in your effect controls. But if you're opening graphics window, it is a little bit nicer of a layout to tweak stuff over here, I think. But you also have the option to come over to your effect controls and tweak all the specifications of your graphics. So for our graphic here, let's just go ahead and press T, which is our shortcut to go into the text tool. And you see if we were on V, which is the all selection tool, and we press T, look down here, T, it is going to teleport us to that text tool, so we can actually use our shortcut that we previously learned about and go ahead and change this title to, I'm going to just change it to title example. And I'm actually going to go ahead and press, just double click to actually highlight all of this, or drag and highlight everything there. And I'm actually going to go over here to text. This is what I would normally start tweaking when I'm going about setting up a nicer title graphic. I would usually change to a font that I personally like. So for me, I would probably use Gotham. Gotham, I believe, is the font that I'm using to put up titles throughout this particular course as well. I really like this font. And overall, when I'm actually going about creating a title graphic, I would obviously choose a really nice font that I like. And say also, so for example, if we were to go over here to our all selection tool and say we'd just been doing a little bit of moving around, we thought we wanted our title to be down here as a lower third or something like that, and we want to get that right back into the middle instead of just tweaking that, trying to line it up and kind of moving it pixel by pixel to each side, trying to get that in the middle. Premiere Pro have a great alignment and transform tool, which is just super simple. You can simply go up here to these two icons, the vertical center and the horizontal center, and both of them do exactly what you'd be thinking. If we click that vertical center, it is going to center it vertically, and yep, you guessed it, if we hit the horizontal center, it's centering it horizontally. So that is how at all times, if you were ever, if your text was ever over here, or any number of situations where you might have lost place of your text, simply get over to your alignment and transform. Go ahead and smack both of these guys, give them a click, and that is going to teleport your text directly to the middle. Likewise, if you were trying to do a slight adjustment, you could use some of the same tactics I taught you in the clip dimensions, where you could simply go over to these guys in the position and obviously, start tweaking these guys. If you wanted to bring it down a little bit, you could tweak that. If you wanted to bring it to the sides a little bit, you could tweak that by simply hovering over until your cursor changes from this guy to that guy, and simply dragging about to actually move that over a little bit. But overall, that is a basic title graphic. Of course, if we go back over to the text tool, press Control A to actually just highlight everything. Down here is obviously more text specifications. The appearance, for example, the fill, we could obviously change that to any number of colors we wanted. You also have the ability to turn on a stroke or a shadow effect. For example, we could turn on a slight stroke, and as soon as you turn that stroke on, it's going to come up with how big of a stroke you actually want. So for example, we could start dragging that out, or actually highlight the whole thing, click stroke, so it's going to add a stroke to the whole thing. You do have to be highlighted on everything for it to take effect, and just go ahead and start bringing that out a little bit. You see, we could start bringing through a white stroke, and overall that's starting to look a little bit nicer. Likewise, we could add a shadow. Shadow isn't really going to pop up for us on a black background. However, if we are to select this, we could go over here and start dragging that upwards to increase the scale. So we could bring that actually up to be quite nice. Go ahead and make sure that's aligned. Pretty much after every new move, I am personally always in the habit of, say I shrink that down, I'm always going back up here to align to make sure these guys are in the middle. Assuming I'm not working on a project where I'm not actually trying to get these into the middle, and I would maybe be going about creating a lower third or something like that, in which case I would be maybe putting that down there or something. But overall, right there is a quick run through of how you can create a basic title graphic. And the interesting thing about the title graphics is Premiere Pro, like I briefly mentioned earlier, offers so many specifications. So for example, if we didn't just want a title graphic, I want to run you guys through just a variety of the other nice template kind of presets that they give you. For example, you guys see my lower third that comes up at the beginning of every one of these videos. I created that in definitely a more advanced way in Premiere Pro than the ones that they give you. However, here is an example of a basic lower third that Premiere Pro can give you, where you could drag that in, and already they've formulated this and kind of just sectioned it off, so we could, for example, edit this and it would be a lower third. For example, here, my name here, I could put Jack, and then my second line right down there, I could actually put is the tutor for this course. That's pretty random, but that is the truth of the matter. Jack is the tutor for this course. And of course, this is not the only, one-of-a-kind template here. I would thoroughly encourage you guys to check through all of these guys. Personally, I don't use all of these basic templates that much anymore. However, I remember when I was first getting into Premiere Pro, I was trying to find as much pre-made stuff as I possibly could, and this stuff actually went on to help me sort of start formulating my own ideas as to how I would go about creating certain stuff. But this is a very extensive area here, and there is a huge variety of different stuff you could be using. But overall, if you guys want just an insight into my perspective, the only one of these guys that I really pay attention to is the importing of a basic title wherever that guy has actually teleported to. If I were to go to my essential libraries right here and get my basic title, this is the main graphic that I would ever be going for when I'm in Premiere Pro, to actually just be creating a basic title sequence. But that's definitely my 2 cents and advice to you on the titles and graphics section, is to get one of those basic templates and just start building and expanding onto it, using the different specifications available to you in the effect controls to just build on top of that template and customize it to your liking.